As children, Charles Dudrey and his siblings endured every form of abuse at the hands of their own father. One violent episode sent Charles to the Mayo Clinic. His father slammed Charles' head against a wall, sending him into a seizure.
The diagnosis for me was grim, and the doctors wanted to do surgery and do a frontal lobotomy on me to scrape scar tissue off of my brain from the physical abuse. My mother decided no, that would not happen.
At the age of 11, Charles witnessed the unthinkable, his mother's murder. He later discovered that his father contracted the killing to continue his affair with the family babysitter.
One evening, as the babysitter and her brother came home from being out partying with their friends, one of the friends picked up a loaded pistol that was on the counter in our home, and he pointed it at my mother, and the bullet lodged in her heart, and she died 6 hours later.
In the end, no one was convicted of the crime. Immediately after the murder, Charles' father moved the family from Minnesota to Illinois. The family babysitter became Charles' new stepmother.
When we arrived in Illinois, it seemed that the abuse started to intensify. We were treated very cruelly. All of the food in the house was locked in cabinets. You're continuously in fear of being beat or having urine thrown in your food or being pushed down the stairs. Any kind of abuse you can imagine, we experienced.
In the spring of 1970, Charles graduated high school and ran away. He channeled his pent-up anger into a life of crime.
I had no respect for authority whatsoever. I wasn't going to be told what to do. I wasn't going to have anybody put their hands on me. I knew that I had the power to defend myself and to do what it would take to never be abused or hit again. Anything that I could to make money, to live fast, to be on the go, to rent cars, to buy new clothes, to use some dope, to anything I could to stay away from that authority, I did it.
Charles was arrested for robbery and spent 6 years in prison. Yet he exited the prison doors even more addicted to crime.
I liked the drama. I liked peeling safes open with a big pry bar, or running a check scam, or doing a burglary. And, you know, I was like, yeah, and I was digging it.
After 30 years of crime, Charles was in Washington State, running from the law. The stress of his lifestyle was beginning to take a toll. He began to unravel after an incident with his new dog.
I happened to be giving the puppy a bath, and he nipped me and bit my hand, and I slapped him. And he nipped me again, and I slapped him again, and he started to whine, and I really started feeling guilty. It was just crazy. I mean, of all of the things I had done and the assaults and the meanness in me, I'm feeling bad for hurting the dog. And I found myself on a pier down along the river in our community, and I was down there bawling, and I says, God, if you are available, if you are really exist, I need you in my life right now. I said, Jesus, if you're really true, like they said on the television, then I need you now. It can't get any worse than what I have. And I said, Father, please forgive me. I accept what you have for me. And all of a sudden, I just started to weep, and everything that was ugly in me, it just started to come out. It was like, with just in a matter of moments, all of the ugliest and the pain was gone in my life, and I just felt anew. And my life changed from that moment forward.
Charles completely gave up his life of crime and immediately started reading the Bible and going to church.
I had never felt like this before in my life. I went home, and I found the Bible at the house. And I mean, I was sitting in front of the television watching the Christian broadcast. I had my Bible in my hand. I was just jacked up on Jesus. I stood before the altar one evening in church, and there was a guest speaker there. And he called me up there, and he said, I have a prophecy for you. And he says, the Lord is going to restore unto you what the moth and the cankerworm has devoured. He is going to restore unto you what the mean things that your father did to you. He said God is going to erase that in your life. And the Lord has been faithful to the T in every aspect.
Today, Charles has the chance to be the loving father he never had. Charles and his wife Diana have 3 children and 8 grandchildren.
The things that are the dearest to me in my life only came because of Christ bringing it into my life. I would say that no matter how deep the pain, no matter how strong the hurt, no matter how ugly it is, whatever you have done, no matter what anybody else has ever done to you to cause you pain, that the Lord is standing now, waiting to touch your heart and give you a new life in a relationship with Him.